small things. You said that last night that was the difference in the game, and as you watch on tape, what were those small things that made the difference?
Well, Bob, I think converting free throws in timely fashion when we need them, being where we need to be on the same page, both offensively and defensively, but more so in that game, offensively, just the small things of spacing, the small things of timing up the cuts when the pass is being delivered. The guy knows when he's supposed to be coming. When the ball is received, there's supposed to be contact made. When the ball hits the hand, there's supposed to be contact. You know what I mean? And we were just those types of little things we did not do. Penetrating where the angle we want to penetrate, as opposed to 4 feet the other way, is a small thing. Everything has a rhyme and a reason to what we're trying to do. Screening the top foot as opposed to the bottom foot is, I could go forever.
Okay.
Get the gist?
Yep.
Okay.
And along with that, this sounds like a focus thing, but Shannon mentioned, we were asking him about attacking the zone defense, and he said sometimes 3 guys are running one play and 2 guys are running the other. And I asked him, you're 30 games into the season. Does that blow your mind that 3 guys are still running one play and 2 guys are running another?
When our minds aren't right, yeah, because there's times where we may run 2 and 1, and they have to know, but that just tells you that the concentration wasn't there, and a lot of that is on Shannon and Aaron. We were going way too quick the other night, and the table wasn't set, as we term it for those guys. The table has to be set, and when we initiate something and the guy's on his way to get to where he's supposed to be and he's not there, that's a major small thing that blows up, and that happened. We had a guy stop and tie his shoe twice during the game,
yeah.
And we didn't start our offense till there was 22 seconds on the clock, and we had wasted possessions on those 2 possessions. Those are small things, and those are things that we've got to get corrected.
When it looks, I know that not having Aaron on the floor for a long period of time because of some questionable foul was kind of tough for you guys to overcome. But when you look at tape and notice that you guys do struggle against the zone, what do you think when you see, what's the theme there between why that has continually happened in your mind?
Could I replay what I just said? I think that honestly is a big part of it. And we did not have the mentality we needed. There's our percentage against zone. Like, quite honestly, I hope teams play a zone when we're dialed in and clued in, because what we've done to zones here in the last month, percentage-wise, has been unbelievable. And we just got to make sure that we're in tune to what we're doing.
That we've seen, we saw at the end of that game, Shannon got that steal late at the end with the pressure defense to get a basket and help get you back in position. How much pressure defense could you play in a 40-minute game without killing yourselves? And what, trying to decide when you might do it, when you might not do it. Is it stamina? Is it fouls? What is it that you take into consideration about when you might put that on?
Yeah, it's we also gave up a layup against the press.
It's easy to remember the great thing to do.
Right? Yeah, exactly. We gave up a layup against Minnesota against press. We gave up a layup, I think, against Northwestern against the press. Now, that's going to happen when you press all the time. That's going to happen. But I think from a standpoint of extending the pressure, it's something we've probably done more of this year than we have any other year. We've been in situations where we've had to all-out press like we did the other night, and that was kind of beneficial for us. But to make a steady diet of it, I don't know if we're there yet. You got to have the right guys on the floor to do that. and sometimes those right guys aren't maybe what we want offensively. So usually we're subbing in that regard.
Indiana, you're catching them. They seem to be trending back up a little bit here. They went through a lull a couple of weeks ago where they weren't playing their best basketball. They played pretty good at Wisconsin, beat Iowa. Just what are the things you see out of them? What are you expecting? Should be another tough game over there.
Yeah. Well, I think this. Obviously Sheehy played really, really well the other night against Iowa, and they've got some younger pieces that it looks like they're coming into fruition in terms of what they're doing. I mean, Farrell is obviously one of the top point guards in the country, and Vonleh down low is a monster. The other night they played at a pace, kind of a fast forward pace, and I think we'll probably see a version of that. But just a well-coached basketball team, very good basketball team, and it's another Big Ten war for us.
You brought up Vonleh, just your center tandem, where that's at right now. Will you contemplate starting Trey for this game, coming off the game he had, and how do you explain what happened with Amir? 12 minutes and 4 fouls, and between them they had 1 rebound in 37 minutes. I mean, what?
Well, that has been addressed with those two, and they obviously have to rebound the basketball better for us. I think that the foul trouble with Amir was one of those things. We're still confused on his 4th foul.
The moving screen or whatever?
Yeah. When the play before at the other end was a real one.
Yeah.
But with that said, I think we've got to get those guys playing. Tomorrow is going to be a tremendous challenge for both of them in terms of what they have to do. I think Trey came in and did what he was supposed to do. Missed a couple easy ones there in the first half, got on him, and I thought he really, really played well in the second half, and that's good for him because he works hard.
Will you contemplate starting him, or is that still to be decided how they do in practice? Or
yeah, I hadn't even thought about that right now. I kind of like the rotation. We got off to a great start the other night in terms of being up 10-2 and had a chance to get it 12-2. But I hadn't thought about that.
Shannon also said at the start that we can't take any of our games easier, any of our opponents easier than anyone else. And it made me wonder whether, even though you lost to Penn State here the first time, they were still in last place when we played them again the other night. Is there any chance that this team thought that it was going to be an easier game than it was, and maybe that's why they didn't have the focus?
I would hope not. Honestly, I would hope that would not be the case when a team has knocked you off already. And like I said, we got off to a great start. It was just the sustaining it, and that's kind of what we weren't able to do. The foul trouble did set us back a little bit, but those things are going to happen, and you got to play through it. When
you guys attack a zone, would you like to play through the middle more, like Quentin in the high post? And is there a reason that doesn't seem to be? You're either not doing a lot of it, or you're not executing it. If you are, is he just not a good enough passer, or recognizing where to go with the ball, or what's the status of?
Yeah, I thought he made some pretty good plays out of the high post,
Okay.
But he's also pretty good down along the baseline. We got to get him finishing. He had a couple chances to finish down there the other night and didn't do what he was supposed to do. But moving a guy like that around, Mark is very effective in that area. Sam's good. Lintel made a couple good plays out of it, and whoever kind of gets a hot hand will ride.
I just want to ask one more thing while it's on my mind. I just thought of it. Did you have to say anything to Lenzel the other night after? He's had a tough season with his shot falling, and he has 2 open looks right at the end to win the game. He misses both of them. Do you need to say anything to him?
Not really. As a senior, shots are going to go, shots are not going to go. I thought, as you said, they were 2 really, really good looks that, and he'd hit one earlier there in the second half, and just it kind of is what it is.
I was going to ask about Lenzel too, but maybe take it a little bit broader. A lot of the team, as mentioned in the first Penn State loss, was like one of the low points of your season. Things started to feel normal, winning 6-7. Do you have to say anything to the team, or do you see confidence that needs to be rebuilt because it was fragile about a month ago?
Yeah, it's funny because with this quick turnaround, I'm not even worried about confidence. I'm not worried. I mean, our focus, quite honestly, is hey, that's behind us. We can't change that. Here's what we got to do to try to win the basketball game. We have to play better. There's no question about that. But in terms of being 25 games or whatever we are into the season, come on, you got to man up. You got to carry your weight around here and get the job done.
Okay. Gosh, one real quick, I'm sure this season maybe hasn't gone exactly how you guys wanted it to go. Sometimes the fans are getting a little restless sometimes. You're going to play the team that won the Big Ten last year and is 6-9 right now. Not to say anything about Indiana, but is there anything in the idea of it's hard to do this year after year? They were 14-4 last year, now they're 6-9. Sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah, no, it's as I've said before, I'm very proud of what we've been able to build here, and because the challenges of they lost a couple guys, it's not easy sustaining. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the success throughout the Big Ten, and it's every. I think the Big Ten is so unique this year in terms of teams have gotten on rolls, they fell off, they've got back on rolls, it's one of those things where I think it shows you kind of where college basketball is today, just in terms of how hard it is to win consistently year after year after year, and there's just, I don't know if there's a magic formula, but hopefully we've got somewhat of it figured out.
Thanks,
Let's
guys.
go.
Thank you.